Ready.
Set.
Yes.
Go.
Okay. It's all you, Ted. We're going.
Hello.
Hi, everyone, and
Go.
welcome to Geeks Are Wired.
Go.
Where we talk about
Video games,
TV.
movies
comic books,
and TLDR.
technology,
And TLDR.
the internet things.
Today, oh wait, you can catch us on Patreon. You can also contact us via phone at
Or text.
or text
801 896.
4335. That spells geek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also,
Not all of it, just the last part.
Yeah, just the last part spells geek.
The last 4. The other part doesn't spell geek because that's too many letters.
You can also email us.
That's what I was going to say.
Go for
Email us at geeksarewired@gmail.com.
or you can support us.
On Patreon.
Patreon.com/geeksarwired.
Geeks Are Wired.
Spelled out R.
Like a
Like
pirate.
a pirate.
A-R-R-R-R-R-R-R-R-R-R-R-R.
No, just ARE.
Oh. Are you sure?
Yes.
You get to join us on the Discord channel and chat with us.
And if you give us some money, we might do like live web things.
And you also can get access to the podcast early.
So early. Early podcasting. It's the best kind of podcasting.
The basement is haunted, Anthony.
So you can tell all your friends about the cool stuff that we talked about a day before and spoil it for them.
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
The reason why I was listening, though, was I was wanting to know if that was the AC or if that was the wind.
Yes.
Because the wind is very bad right now.
We are recording on a windy day. It was a bright and windy day,
Full of dust.
and the trees decided that they were going to just lose all of their leaves.
And they were
And
going to
then-
start walking around.
The wind stopped.
Because, wind blows down trees. Can.
Yes, I had to deal with that when I walked through national parks. They haven't cleaned up yet.
Yay.
And TLDR, the Internet of Things. So, today we have Best Home Automation for 2019.
We also have Joey.
Oh man, we need to introduce people still.
And we have
Holy crap,
Anthony.
We're 2.5 minutes in.
Worst
And a bill.
hosts ever.
And then Anna.
And we have Ted.
Yep.
Yay!
The 5 of us.
Okay, are we good to start now?
I thought we already started.
Are we good to really start?
Bill, when are we going to start the podcast?
I don't know. I think the listeners like us to
We
start the
need to be
podcast.
defragmented.
It happens. So where were you going with home automation?
You should all automate your homes
Have-
so that they can just walk wherever they want to go.
Do it yourself?
At
Yeah.
my house, I've got light switches and some locks and a few lights. That's about it.
So,
Few?
a while ago,
Okay, so like 32 lights. That's
Yeah,
no
he's
big
got all-
deal.
So a while ago, with I don't remember how I got this, but I got a Madam A enabled switch, like a power outlet.
Switch?
No, just a power outlet.
Oh, okay.
And I, for the longest time, couldn't think of where to use it because all my lamps that I have smart lights in them, so they don't need to be controlled. And then I got to thinking, a fan. So I hooked it up to a fan.
Because it's hot as heck right now.
And I can just tell it, say, hey, turn the fan on.
Madam A, turn the fan on.
And it turns the fan on.
I have one of those as well, and it's amazing. And all of the fans in my bathrooms are also smart controlled. And I have a ceiling fan that's that way as well.
I just purchased a Danby's in-window air conditioning unit. Not a swamp cooler, just an in-window air conditioning unit. And I was reading through the manual, which is kind of crappy because it's like, I was trying to figure out what the modes meant because there was pictures on it. And like I got one, it looked like a snowflake. I'm like, oh, that's obviously cool. But then there were like 3 other icons that I didn't really understand what they meant.
Was one of them a sun?
No, it's not a heater.
Hey, you don't know.
If you put it in the window the wrong way, it is a heater.
But then the remote control won't work.
Not. What if it was RF powered?
You might need a mirror outside the window.
It bounced off your neighbor's windows.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I'm reading through the manual, and it said that it's Wi-Fi enabled with certain apps.
Well, see,
So
there you go.
I'm wondering if maybe I can somehow hook it up to G-Man and make it just tell my G-Man to set the thing. or figure out an if this then that integration where it like looks at my nest temperature and kicks it on based on that. I don't even know if that's something I can do, but I've been thinking about like looking into the possibilities.
So it is possible if you would have bought a swamp cooler that you can hook up thermostats to them and control them that way.
Well, that's what his.
Well, so
It's a little different though, because with a swamp cooler, it's just a turny dial.
mine's a little
Usually.
irritating because it does have like a thermostat on the front of it, but
It's like a digital one, right?
and it doesn't work right. Like it says 70 degrees, and it's clearly like 78, 80 degrees in my room, and it'll turn off. So
I think the 70 is the set temperature that the AC is set to. So
yeah, I don't know. It's a little frustrating, and like I'd like it to run the fan continually throughout the night, even if it's not like blowing cold air. I'd like it to continue doing the
Just
fan.
circulate air.
Yeah, and trying to figure out how to do that is just like impossible.
So it'll just it'll suck in air from the inside and then blow it back out.
From the outside
No.
and bring it in.
That's not how those AC units work. Just saying. It won't blow in air from the outside.
They
Well, actually, never mind.
no, they don't. They suck in air from the inside.
If
and
you
then
put
they
it, but if
bring
you put it on fan only mode, it might have a bypass.
Yeah, there is a fan only mode, and it brings air in from the outside.
Are you sure? That's
Yes.
weird.
Yeah, because I just watched a video on how those things work. But like the way it's described, it shouldn't work like that. But because they have a built-in fan only mode, it might work like that. Like there might be a way for it to like open up a.
You're saying
A
that
shutter.
you don't want to bring the hot air in from outside.
Yeah, usually that's the case.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It has a fan, and I'd like to leave the fan on. But I swear I read that it said you could just bring the cold air out from inside if it was something. I don't know.
Yeah, and there's
maybe
probably a bypass for it because having a fan only mode and only sucking in the air from the inside is just sounds dumb.
Well, that's what a regular fan does, right? That's why in Korea they think that fan death is a real thing.
They
Hey,
think that
that's
fan death.
very scary, Ted. Don't leave fans on when you're sleeping. They'll get you.
So there is a thing, and I've actually spoken to at least one Korean who was like, "Oh yeah, that's totally like you don't leave fans on, you'll die." But
It's a holdover, isn't it?
there's a whole thing that it's believed, and it's a typically South Korean belief that are more strongly held in South Korea. How about that? But that if you have a room where your like doors are closed and stuff, and you have a fan on, like the fan will kill you somehow.
While you're sleeping.
Yes.
Does it
So
use
you
up
don't-
the oxygen?
It was started, I think, by the government to
Yeah.
conserve energy.
That's the like
Um,
conspiracy theory that the government was like, we need to save energy, so
Fans will kill you in your sleep.
yeah, the say fans will kill you in your sleep, and then people would stop running fans all night, and they'd just be hot.
And it would save the government tons of electricity because fans are motors and those take a ton of electricity to run.
That just reminded me. I just read something recently that in England, speaking about electricity, there are tea brownouts.
Yeah,
So it's
everyone.
tea time. Everybody puts their kettle on.
Oh.
Well, the thing that decides tea time is like they'll be watching, let's say, soccer, and then it goes to a commercial break, and everyone goes and puts on a pot of tea, and they all use electric kettles now, and so there's this huge load on the grid during commercial breaks on big events.
It's kind of like the huge load on the water system during Super Bowl halftime.
Exactly. Everyone goes to use the restroom. Everyone puts on some tea.
Yeah. So that's a thing that was really interesting. I was reading about because there was a whole thing about like differences between Great Britain and America, and it kept like jokingly going back to tea, and then like saying all these facts about tea in Great Britain, and that was the most interesting one that I found. Another interesting thing I read in that little list is that the word quite is different in Great Britain than it is here. So it actually means the opposite in Great Britain than it. So if I say something is quite heavy, I mean it's very heavy. Like quite increases the value of the thing that comes after it, right? So if I say it's quite heavy, but in England it's actually the opposite. If I say something's quite heavy, I mean that it's light.
So the U.S. is quite heavy, as in it's really heavy.
Yes.
Britain is light.
Yes.
Quite.
Yes, quite. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah. I dare you.
Safe search off.
And also do quite nude.
Quite.
No. No.
Well, that's the thing. If you get Great Britain version, they'll be fully dressed.
So, electrical grid, all that jazz. I think home automation could cause some problems. Like, right now, I can turn on and off my entire lights, like the whole house, and I've done it a few times on accident.
Or if you don't have good security, somebody else can.
Yeah, if someone talks to my Google, it's done.
Well, it's not just that, but
They
the-
hack in.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
if
that's
there's
awesome,
known
too.
security flaws, that's something that actually has been being brought up is with all this home automation. If there is not good security built in behind all this, somebody suddenly turns on all the or all these smart switches throughout the entire world, country, area,
Oh yeah, you could
overload and take
Yeah, you
down.
could take
You
down
could
the
power
grid.
grids.
potentially take down a grid. You'd want to do it at like nighttime where all of them are off already.
Yeah.
Because if some of them are on, like if a good portion of them are on and you turn them all on, that's not going to be a huge spike in the load. But if it's like 3 a.m. when most of the lights would be off, then that, even though there's less usage, the spike would be what would hurt it.
There's potential dangers, too, though.
So, for quite. In British English, quite has 2 different meanings. It does mean completely or entirely, but it also means fairly or rather. This is from Learn English BBC.uk.
Yeah, so they don't really use the first definition that you said.
Completely.
They
So it's
usually
like
use
rather
this-
heavy. So it still means it's pretty heavy,
Yeah.
but not
No,
very
they
heavy.
mean it's slightly heavy.
Means fairly or
heavy.
rather.
Fairly
Rather
heavy. Rather heavy.
Slight.
I just think it means like they don't use it as quite as extreme.
Yeah.
Is how
so
that sounds to me.
You're not supposed to use the word to define the word.
it's quite heavy. Can you use it in a sentence? Yes, it's quite heavy. So
Anyways,
home automation, you can do all sorts of things. Like there's smart shut-off valves. There's sprinkler systems. If you hook up your sprinkler system to automation, someone could break into that and just run your sprinkler continually. They could turn up your AC or down, turn on your heater in summer, get your house up to a nice
I
toasty
don't like
120.
my Nest won't turn on my AC in the winter because it will apparently damage the AC.
Yeah, but
unit.
if there's
But
if
well-
they could hack it, put it in a different
Well, if they
zip code, then it'll let it turn it on.
yeah,
or
I
change
guess
the
that's
time.
Possible.
There's
Yeah.
also
No, but I think it goes by the temp. Well, I guess it would look at the temperature
it-
outside based on the zip code.
They
so,
could
yeah,
also just
yeah,
turn it off in winter or crank it up,
yeah,
like
yeah, for sure.
and there's
Well-
also abusive relationships actually happening from this too. Somebody installed the stuff, and they just mess with the other person at home.
oh yeah, that could
Or
be bad.
or they can track you based on like the lights
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
are on in the house. I just saw this light come on.
yeah.
What are you doing up? Like
Yeah.
what are you doing? One of the things, so I think the Z-Wave and the Zigbee, where you have to go through a hub instead of just connecting the devices to the Wi-Fi, that gives you an extra level of whatever. Because if you've got like 20 Wi-Fi enabled devices in your house, and there's something that's found wrong, like you have to patch 20 different devices,
Right. So,
right?
but
But
at
if
the
you've got a hub, there's one point of failure.
at the same time, though, I guess it's nice having some like the hub manufacturer doing the security for you. They're going to put in some serious money into it, and
You hope.
they're going to pay some experts. That's one of the things I've heard for why you should go with Amazon for hosting your stuff is because they pay some people a lot of money to do things right. They can do security better than you can. But if you have everybody on this SmartThings hub, that makes it more lucrative to find an exploit for
sure.
that hub.
For sure. Ubiquity means that's why Macs were supposedly always free of viruses, is because PC had the huge share. But as soon as Mac got a bigger share of the market, you started seeing viruses show up for Macs as well. So I mean, you're always going to have that. But at the same time, when an exploit like that comes out, people find out about it pretty quickly, unless it's like the CIA that figures that out. Then it stays hidden because they want to use it.
For at least 5 years
Um,
before it becomes public.
Yeah, but so the thing is that it should be patched pretty quickly, and it's going to be easier to patch.
It depends on who finds it. If someone
for sure.
if someone decent finds it, or someone that's not planning on doing anything super bad with it, it might be found quickly.
No.
But they might make a large scale attack beforehand.
Or them not wanting to do anything with it, but them not wanting to control it. There's places where you can just put this stuff out there. Somebody will pay you money. Like, I don't want to do anything with this. I'm out.
Well, people will
here's
sit
and
on,
somebody else still takes it and runs with it.
yeah, people will sit on 0-day exploits and try to wait, but yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's better to be in the majority than try to deal with any sort of security through obscurity, because if you're on like a homegrown set, wow, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's not great because then you're responsible for fixing anything. But at the same time, you're not going to get hit by some script kiddie. You're going to get hit by someone who's like knows what they're doing, probably.
I think the thing about the home gamer is there's different levels of it. So there's the people who are going to just get the Wi-Fi thing. They're going to do it themselves. There's people who are just going to say, I just want the SmartThings stuff, by Samsung. I'll buy everything that they put out and I'll just run with it. And then there's going to be the more advanced home gamers that are going to build their own devices. They might be a little bit more clever. They'll subnet it, put a firewall between it and the internet. And so I think that those homespun things, people are just going to be like, this isn't worth my time,
Right,
even
unless
if they
someone
find
has
it.
like a real good reason they want to. And sometimes the real good reason is this is a challenge. Like some people are out there just to, this is just a challenge. I'm just gonna.
At the same time, though, if you're a home gamer, you got your own little Arduinos and stuff running your lights or whatever. Someone hacks into that, you're gonna have some fun kicking them out, rebuilding your network, whatever. So I mean, it's a game. Yeah,
Maybe.
depending on what they do with it. If they just turn your sprinkler system on for the whole week you're on vacation, you're probably not gonna be very happy. But
Yeah. No, because I have a friend who's got his whole thing set up on a Pi. His home automation, which he runs through Alexa, is actually set up on a Raspberry Pi, in his basement. It's a pretty cool little setup. So.
yeah, I think the next step for me is Home Assistant running on a Docker container.
Yeah, I've heard about that. Usually you try to get multiple or external hard drives so you can partition. And so ideas on both of your things, especially you're talking about if this then that, having a separate thermostat instead of where you're having problems yours. You talked about the bathroom fan.
Yes.
So you could also have a sensor in there that recognizes particles.
Farts.
That
Humidity.
That's the other one, on humidity. So
and
it kicks on.
automatically turns on when your shower's on. Yeah, that's actually a pretty common one. People can do that. I also want to get a thermostat because I have heated floors, and so that humidity thing could be very useful because I could just have my heated floors kick on as soon as they detect I'm in the shower or something, and then it can kick on the fan. It can do
Or
all
early
sorts
in the
of
morning,
Why-
before you walk
yeah,
into
why
the
would you
bathroom.
stuff. A timer. Or
Why
something.
would you want your floors to be warm after you get out of the shower? Wouldn't you want it to be warm before you got in the bathroom to begin with?
I mean, probably, but
A little bit both.
you
maybe.
jump in the shower, then your feet are nice and warm from the shower. You don't want to step on a cold floor.
Well,
It's worse after you're
I don't
in the
want to
shower.
step on the floor at all. I'll step on that's what the bathrooms are for.
Well, I mean, your bath towel or whatever, or your rug that's on the floor, it'll be nice and toasty too. It's gonna heat up with the floor.
Maybe, I don't know. I do like the whole humidity there.
I really want the heat registers, the heat vents. They're smart ones, but they're very expensive. If you do that, you could have zoned heating in your house. So it could be this room is a little cold, and so it can close all the other vents and direct heat to that room. They run $80 a piece right now, and so that's a little bit too expensive for me.
The moisture sensor also if you can't afford those, if you have the showers that actually are a door instead of a curtain.
Oh yeah, you can put a door sensor
Yeah,
on it.
when it
and
recognizes this has been closed, this has been
kick
opened.
on the fan.
Yep.
Oh man, that's genius.
But that's also only if you have it's an older style because a lot of now curtains or a lot of the
So-
doors have been ripped out.
So the door sensors usually have a little magnet in them, right?
Yeah,
And so you could totally do that with a shower curtain.
yeah, yeah. True. I guess you could. Yeah.
This is the best argument I've ever heard for a shower door.
What's the other ones? The for laundry room, where you have your washer is only regular power. You have a power sensor on it, so it recognizes when So when it stops, and if you have a door sensor on the dish or on the clothes washer, if it hasn't been opened, you get notifications. Hey, your laundry's still wet in the washing machine.
That's really smart. And I've actually heard a few arguments for this. So those smart outlets, they tell you the draw of the device on them, and then you can turn on and off the device via Wi-Fi. But if you're just using it for the draw, usually a washer or dryer or whatever will run, and then it stays on until you open that door, and then the power draw will drop off completely because it goes to sleep. I actually have one of those in my house, just one smart outlet that is like a brick that you plug into the wall, and we use it for my girlfriend's curling iron. When she uses it and she leaves the house, she always freaks out and she's like, "Did I unplug that?" And so what we've done is we plug it into this brick, and then when you unplug it from the wall and plug it back in, it turns off whatever device is on the far side of that. And so over software, she can turn it on or off, and then her curling iron also does the same thing. So if it's unplugged and plugged back in, you have to press a button on the curling iron. But that way she can say, okay, it is plugged in and it has zero draw, so she knows she turned it off, or she can turn it off manually while away.
And
A lot of those things will turn off automatically. Anna had a hair straightener that she left on plugged in and on for 2 days that would beep every so often. And I was like, maybe you should get that, because I was actually really sick at this time. and like I kept hearing it beep, and I'm like, oh, someone should do something about that, but I don't want to get out of bed.
I think it was still off as it's plugged in. I think it does have to
Yeah,
notify
it
by
was
beeping.
But she was like, it's fine. But I was like, it's beeping for a reason.
Yeah,
I just can't get out of bed.
but the
just
smart
depends
bricks
on
too,
the-
same thing. So like if you have a plug that the wall isn't holding on very well, if you don't unplug it from the smart outlet, but the smart outlet from the wall, when you plug that back in, it's usually in the off state.
Right. I've also heard that a good use for them is if you have some older tech. So let's say you have like an old coffee pot.
Oh yes.
And it just starts brewing as soon as you put some water in it or something.
Are you gonna bring it to
can-
a toaster?
No.
No.
I had a percolator that actually did that.
So
As soon as you plug it in, it turned on.
exactly. So as soon as it gets water, it's going. And so you could just put one of those between it. You can put water in it at night with it off, and then you can set up an automation to kick on at 6:30 a.m. or something, and then you got fresh coffee on your dumb coffee pot that's now a smart coffee
Yeah,
pot.
totally. And that's even modern percolators.
Some of those old ones just, burned houses down. But
Also,
Well, it can turn on and then turn off.
with the tea thing, a lot of popularity with the water heaters for tea.
Yeah, the electric kettles. Yeah, those are. You can just have them kick on, kick off, and then you got hot water ready. There's a lot of options.
turns out if you use milk in those kettles, by the way, ruins the kettle.
Yeah, it burns the milk to the elements, and then the burnt
elements
milk.
overheat.
Yeah, the burnt milk is an insulator, and then it ruins the coils.
Plus the water tastes really bad after that for a little while.
I bet.
But yeah, the burner will burn out eventually.
Hmm.
Like very, very soon after you use milk in there.
Good to know.
Got this film on it. Not a lot of people on this side of the pond use those auto percolators. I really like them. Like when I was in Russia, my girlfriend had one, and it was not my girlfriend anymore, by the way. But don't tell Anna. But
Well, you said
The-
not anymore. You're safe.
those kettles like were really nice. You just fill them up, click them in, and they're boiling like
Real
that,
fast.
like super quick. It's surprising how quickly they get up to heat.
Well, it's wall voltage straight into the
Mm-hmm.
into the water.
Well, yeah, but still.
Well, we started using percolators after we went camping because it was just nice. You put this little metal thing on the fire, and it was amazing. We're like, this tastes awesome. We're investing in one for the house.
That's cool.
So you put it on the stove.
It
Or
can
do they
actually,
have-
if the coffee pot ever breaks, we actually pull that out and put it on the stove and warm up,
My
make coffee
friend-
that way.
My friend has like a French press thing. He like puts the hot water in the thing, and then he pushes down on it, and then the coffee's there. I have no idea if it tastes better or worse than other coffee because I don't like coffee.
Somebody said it reduces the amount of acid. I have a French press too. Yeah, we've done quite the range of coffees, and I'm like, there's so.
Sometimes I feel like I'm missing out on like some cultural like bonding experience because I don't like beer, and like a lot of my friends are really into beer. They're like very 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 descriptive on like how hoppy or bitter or stout or
I-
whatever.
I'm in the
And-
exact same boat.
Yeah, and I'm like, it tastes gross, just like every other beer I've ever tried.
I have coworkers and they're like, you got to try this grapefruit beer. And I'm like, okay, grapefruit's okay. It's really bitter. Beer is nasty. I don't think grapefruit beer would be good.
I
but
had some.
is it,
Remember that, Anthony?
how was it?
Yeah, remember when we came back from Idaho Falls that one day and that car went flying off the road? And we went to that sushi place and I had that J-Pop and it was grapefruit beer. That's what it was. And it tasted like beer.
Okay.
I was intrigued. I was like, maybe it doesn't taste as bad as most beers. No, it was still kind of gross.
All right, so because you don't like beer, you probably won't like this, but my favorite is Huckleberry. Yellowstone has some really good Huckleberry beer.
I bet they do if you like beer.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna
Of
I'm not
course
gonna
they
try
have
so.
Huckleberry beer.
Yeah,
Fruity beers are the only thing I'm okay with. Like ciders are okay.
I like the wheats. I like the wheat beers.
Cider's
I
not
don't
like
beer.
The
cider's
Mike-
not really a beer.
Mike's Hard Watermelon.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, but I don't think that qualifies as
Oh,
beer.
Mike Blood Orange. Those are good too.
I haven't had that one.
That one's pretty okay.
I like the hard
because
watermelon.
it's mostly
though.
sugar.
The Mike's Hard Watermelon is super good. Super good. But yeah, so I just
I know
like,
for nobody being a really big beer drinker really or anything. Like we have our opinions.
That's another thing you could automate. Some brewing in your garage.
Well, that's like IPAs. Actually, I was looking into that. So
Yeah.
IPAs don't require any temperature control, so anybody can make
so,
it.
So you just like throw it in a barrel and leave it.
Yeah, you walk away. The other ones, when you start going in all these specialties, you have to start dealing with temperature control, so you could start
And
automating.
pressure and all that
Mhm.
jazz. I have a neighbor that brews in his free time. He used to do beer, but now he's a family man, so he does soda.
Hey,
And I think that's pretty cool. He noticed I was working in my garage one day, and I was about to leave, so I like closed up the garage and went inside, and then he like knocked on my door, and I answered the door, and he hands me this cup, and he's like, "Here, I brewed this," and I'm like, "Is this beer?" And he's like, "It's soda," and I was like, "Oh, okay," and he's like, "It's a root beer, but it doesn't look dark like a root beer." And it was really good. It was more like I think it was supposed to be like a sarsaparilla or something.
okay, so that might not be as
Um,
bad because like usually homemade root beers are extra broody and
Yeah.
very.
This one was nice. It was sugary, and it was really carbonated. And he said that he had so much. I think it like took up a ton of sugar, and so it wouldn't hold the carbonation as well. So it took him like 2 days to get it to dissolve into the thing. But I think that'd be a cool like home automation type project. Like
Yeah.
set up all your gauges and whatever, and then just have it inject it for 2 days and make sure it doesn't blow up on you.
If you really, really want to, you can roast your own coffee beans.
Oh man.
I know. I have a friend who actually did that for a while. It was interesting. Like you have to listen for how many times it pops. It'll crack,
Okay. Yeah.
and you
yeah.
start letting it go too long. It'll usually everyone goes
So it's-
Starbucks. It's the extra burnt coffee.
So they get that linear flavor.
Yeah,
that's how you also do popcorn, right?
yeah.
You put it in the microwave.
Listen to the pops.
No one cooks popcorn the way that I grew up having popcorn. Like microwave popcorn like
In the,
ruined the popcorn experience for me because you either had the air popper or some people had like a special skillet that they used
Oh,
for
yeah,
it.
for the stove.
Yeah, and you pop it on there. And I've tried cooking it on the stove without, like, it just burns the crap out of it. You'll have like 3 kernels that are just black, and then the rest of them haven't popped yet. But as soon as one pops, it just burns. Like it's hard to do that right.
You can still buy those little tins. They have them.
Like
They
the
have-
ones that you spin.
No. So they have a little tiny handle on them,
Mhm.
and then they've got like it looks like almost like a pie tin,
Oh,
and then they
those
have
are-
tin foil.
Those are
And
like the
you-
pop secret from Scream.
And you put
Aren't
them,
those, like,
you put them
Jiffy
straight
Pops?
on
Yeah, Jiffy
the
Pop.
and you put them straight on the oven and on your range, and you just pop them. I
Yeah.
don't think you're supposed to do it with like a gas range.
No, you're supposed to do it with gas. You shouldn't
it?
do it with
It
electric.
Works, it works with electric.
It does. It,
Just-
it
just-
works way better with gas.
Just don't touch the handle.
Really?
I don't know.
Doesn't- I was like,
if
if
it's
it-
electric, I'm not sure. I mean, most pots are metal anyway, so
Yeah, I was
You're
like,
probably
usually
fine.
it disperses the heat from the handle.
He's thinking about getting shocked. I
Yeah.
think.
Oh,
yeah, that's what I
I
was going
see.
for.
No, but they have those kits now that you can, like they're like a stainless steel, or no, I think mine's aluminum. But like I got it for Christmas from someone gave it to me, and it has like a little spinner on it, and it just spins the popcorn like
Yeah,
a,
yeah, because you
a
got to
movie.
keep it moving.
Mhm.
You gotta keep it all moving. Otherwise,
and it
when,
works pretty well.
when the popcorn pops, it just sits there and then it burns.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the air heaters were the ones that used a lot. So you put all the seeds in the air heater. You put a little butter in the top part,
So it melts.
so it would melt
Yeah.
it based on the hot air, and then it would use the hot air to pop it, and then it just all come out, and then you wouldn't get that many seeds in there because the seeds
okay.
never came up and out. But now everything's microwave popcorn, so
Oh no, we have an air popper, and it's really you're right. We have it. We're like in case we want to use it one day.
and you never use it because the
Air poppers don't taste right.
well.
Oh no, they taste right. It's just a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and you got to be careful. Like you got to do the butter just right, because if you just like it, one kernel will soak up like all the butter, and then it'll just get all weird. So you got to like get the butter in there properly and stuff. It's like there's an art to making good air pop popcorn, but if you just throw a bag in the microwave, you're fine.
So I have it's like a 1940s full-size popcorn machine. I got it at an auction. I need to restore it, but I have ideas for home automation for it.
gosh.
It's got
Hey,
some lights and stuff that are up in the top.
Probably got some good heat. We could just turn it on side, let it roast some coffee beans.
Yeah, you could do all sorts of things with it.
And then every popcorn after that would taste horrible. Bill, thank you. No.
We'll sell it as artisan coffee.
Oh, there
popcorn.
you go.
Artisan hipsters will love it. The cool thing about this one is that it has a Pyrex dish, and so the
Old school Pyrex too.
Yeah. So where you actually put the kernels and stuff is Pyrex with a metal bottom, and then it still has like a spinny thing that stirs the corn while it's cooking. But you can actually watch it all pop while it's going. So
That's really cool.
it's pretty cool. I just have to convert it to 110 because it's on 220 right now.
Oh,
Yeah. So
Sure.
that'll be a fun project at some point.
yeah,
Until then, it's going to sit collecting dust in the garage.
Yeah. Yeah.
that happens.
Good
You could just
times.
install a 220 plug into your garage.
I mean, that's an option, but I'd like to be able to have it like in a basement or something at some point without needing a 220.
Not just
plug-in.
that.
Would, so
You don't
Take it
want to.
somewhere.
to convert it to 110, what do you have to do? Just have something
I might
up
need-
convert voltage?
I don't know. It depends.
Because it probably needs all the amps that 220 provides.
I need to look into it. I think there are better heating elements that I can get at this point for the kettle, and then
Fair enough.
there is a blower fan that's used for something. I'm not sure. Probably cooling or getting rid of the oil vapor. And then there's also a motor that runs the stirrer. And then there's the lights on top. But if I think I did some math a while ago, and the lights themselves, it's wired up for like 4 or 6 lights or something, and those were 60-watt bulbs. And so if I switch those out for LEDs, I think I'm fine to go to 110.
Yeah. Wow. And also, you don't want to install a 220 because maybe you'll forget one day, and then you plug in a computer, and now you have a dead computer.
Right. There's also
Let
a.
the magic smoke
I
out.
mean, the plugs are a little different, so I'd probably not do that.
They're quite a bit different.
But
Okay, in the U.S., if you have them, yes.
Yeah.
There are ones just look exactly the same.
yeah. There is
Yes.
a drawer on it that has the butter drawer where since this is like a full size popcorn machine like you'd see
Yeah.
in like a theater or something, and it has a drawer that has a popcorn warmer and a pump. So you literally just throw in blocks of butter and add some salt, and it'll melt it, and then it'll suck it right up into the kettle for you. There's a switch that you hold, and it'll inject butter into the kettle.
Sounds like this is the beginning of a theater room in your house.
This is the end goal, yes.
Okay.
I have other ideas, but I'll take them offline.
Oh, okay. But wait.
Mainly that
there's
involves giving it to me.
more.
See, now you're excited, and you want it to collect dust in your garage.
Yes, I do.
So, speaking of
actually.
popcorn, what'd you guys think of those popcorn chips?
They're gross. I don't like them.
What popcorn chip?
Yeah.
The ones that we had at work.
We had it in a meeting.
They're called like the. Let me pull up the.
I did not get any of those.
Oh,
I didn't either.
They
love
were
them.
dry and.
Are
they
they?
were called popcorners.
Are they?
They looked like Doritos.
Oh,
They-
yes.
They looked like Doritos, but they were made from popcorn instead. And
So
they
they
were
just tricked you?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to try it. I was intrigued, but I was unpleasantly Surprise.
I saw that
I like the white cheddar ones and the
when I got to it,
Unicorn.
all I saw was the sea salt, and I was like,
sea salt one. I don't know. I didn't get a chance to get it.
I was a no. I was a hard pass on that one.
The white
Did-
cheddar was good though.
Have you ever tried the veggie straws or the veggie chips?
Yes, I have. Those
No.
are better than that.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask. Because the veggie chips, sometimes people are like, I kind of like the lightness of those, and they have just enough flavor, not like a full-on vegetable.
I like the veggie. The veggie straws are okay. I mean, I probably wouldn't buy them on my own, but if given the option to eat them or the popcorn ones, I probably would go for those because the popcorn ones were just bleh, 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 bleh.
Okay. So everybody hates them. Got it.
Do not
Or
say
did not try
bleh.
them.
I've never tried them before.
I don't think anybody tried them except for me, Anthony. Well, I
You
know.
have-
And Anthony.
Oh,
I didn't get any.
what?
Your phone's making noises.
He just wanted to hold your hand.
I wanna hold your hand. Yeah. Or maybe it was Ted's. I don't know. Maybe it was mine. All our phones are making.
Someone's phone is making noises.
No, it's mine.
I
It
don't know.
sounded like bleh, bleh,
Did I-
bleh.
Did I show you the iOS 13?
iOS 13 has a dark theme.
Mhm.
Makes
And-
it look like
And look at those teeny tiny
an
icons.
Android tablet. It's basically an Android now. We've come full circle now, haven't we?
But look, you
'Cause
can
for a long time.
you can
like,
hold on. You need to talk in the mic.
For a long time, all the other phones were trying to look like the Apple phone, and now the Apple stuff is starting to look like Android stuff.
Except for when you turn on its side, you actually have useful. You have like the useful
Well, you
shortcuts.
can get
Is that
widgets.
that's a widget? Did
That-
Yeah,
iOS
it
not?
looks like
they're
a
not
widget.
widgets. They're
Did-
they're widgets, but they're not like the widgets.
They're
that you're
not
thinking.
called widgets.
Yeah,
No.
they're not called widgets.
They actually are called widgets, but they're
And
not
they-
like the
They work slightly
the
differently.
widgets that you put on Android. They're pretty locked down as far as what you can do.
They're widgets, but not as
Just-
functional.
It's
See.
this stuff.
Yeah, it's widgets. See, it literally says you can add
Fancy
widgets.
Is that a new feature?
No, the widgets have always
Yeah,
been.
the
there.
Okay.
I
It-
have the
it-
widgets.
it's similar to
I'm
Google
on 12 still.
when you swipe to the side. So on 12, it fills the whole screen. On 13, it fills up half the screen, which also means when you turn it sideways, it just kind of chills there on the side.
And it's not even half the screen; it's like a third of the screen.
Well,
Very fancy.
When you have it
when I have
when you have it
vertically?
horizontally, that's horizontal.
this is horizontal.
Yeah, when you have it
Oh, right,
horizontally, it takes like a third of the screen, and it's a little bit more reasonable. When you have it vertical, it basically takes the whole screen. Like
Well, they used to
technically
take
it
whole
takes
screen.
half, but it takes up enough of the screen that you don't want anything else in the other one. I would
It
say.
also kind of blurs out the other, like
Yeah,
the rest
it
of the
is. They're all
screen.
blurred
so
out.
why doesn't it just take up the whole
Well,
screen?
that's what it did in 12, and I kind of wish you could like stack them side by side,
Oh yeah, 2 widgets would be cool.
or 2 rows of or columns.
Two widgets.
Yes.
Yeah, widget wars.
I just really want to talk about that.
Ta-da.
We should probably be done though.
Okay, famous last words.
I just want to say widgets.
Home automated popcorn.
Home automated scuba.
Home automated coffee.
Popcorners. I don't know. Yay. Goodbye, everyone.
Popcorners is soup.
No.